Hey guys, I'm Dr. McFarland, and in this video we're going to look at all the clean tones that come stock on the Headrush Pedalboard. Now, as far as I know, all the stock rigs are the same across all three units. So whether you have the pedalboard, the gig board, or the new MX5, this is all going to be the same kind of information for all three units. So if you have the gig board and you just want to watch somebody walk through all this, then even though I'm using a pedalboard right now, the screen is still going to be the same no matter what. Now, the only main difference is I have three knobs on the pedalboard that I can turn to adjust parameters. But on the gig board in the MX5, you have to put your finger on the screen and move the parameters that way. So it's just slightly different in editing. And I may use other devices for the rest of the series. I might change it up, So for the dirty tones, I might use the gig board, and maybe for, there's a lot of different options in here. So heavy tones, there's 49 heavy tones. It's a lot. Solo lead tones is 23, and there's different templates. So there's 6 different templates in here. So we'll walk through all that as well. But for now, let's just stick with the clean tones, because that's, there's only 11 and we can get through that in a reasonable amount of time. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the chat box. But otherwise, I'm just going to walk through the rigs and kind of demonstrate how I would change them. Or might just keep them as is, So let's just dive in and see what we got. So the first one here is we can scroll our finger down to get to any rig we want that way. But I currently have this in hybrid view. So I have 4 rigs across the top. And then I can get to 4 different stomps across the bottom 4 switches. And then I can just bank down to get to the next 4 rigs. So that's how we're going to do this. So no crystal ball. It's very very mystical, the naming of some of these rigs. So I'm not going to even try to determine what what all this means. But all right, so far this is a pretty good clean tone, right? Now, do you like that kind of sound? Do you not? How would you use that in a band setting, maybe in a recording situation? Maybe you just don't, you like everything but the reverb. You can go and change the reverb around. We currently have it set to room. The time is fairly low, 1.9 seconds. And we have the mix a little high. I usually like to have the tails on. You can experiment with bringing the mix down a little bit. So there's that. Works pretty good. And the amp is a 65 Black Mini. So this is like a small wattage amplifier. And we do have tremolo on here, which is cool. So let's turn the tremolo or the vibrato on. See what that sounds like. And that vibrato is on a switch. So some things you can assign to switches here. And I'll show you how they do that. So hardware assign. We can see that we have an amp and cab up here. But the rotary is on foot switch 1, the air verb is on 2, and then the amp vibrato is on 3. And we can choose that by going to our settings, and then our amp, and then vibrato, like that. Okay. So I do, any amp that has the vibrato option, I do like having that on a switch just so it's, you know, you choose the amp for that reason, right? Because there's tons of different clean amps available, but not all of them have tremolo or vibrato as it's labeled here. So that's really nice. I like that. And what we can do is go in and maybe change the speed. Just bring it down a little bit here. Something like that. Then we want to make sure we save it. Alright, cool. There's that one. The cabs they're using is a 1x12 black panel Lux. And we have a Dyne 409 on the first one. Then the same cab. So it's really the same. They didn't really change a whole lot between the two different cabs. So you might get away with taking away the 2x cab and just using one. Or possibly on the second cab, maybe change it to a different microphone. So here's the condenser 414. We'll put it on axis. And I mean, it's a really good sound, I think. So I'm gonna not have a rating system, but I'm gonna simply just go out and say, if there's a rig that I just think is horrible, I'll let you know. But if I think it's pretty, you know, it's a good sound, then I'm not gonna change it at all. Okay. So we can go ahead and save that one, and it's pretty much stock. We can make the speed fast on this rotary. Cool. I think it sounds good. Let's bring up my mic just a little bit here. Maybe the guitar a little bit, and then bring down my headphones. Just want to make sure I'm nice and loud for you guys. Check, check, check. Here we go. All right, and the rotary is on a switch, so we can turn that back off. Turn the vibrato off. Back with the rotary. Very cool. I like that. All right, let's go back to hybrid view here. And we're going to go to Take Me Home Clean. Once again, I'm not quite certain what this song is, but all right, to me, it sounds just a little bright. Okay, so I might not use so let's compare. So here's the clean on the crystal ball. Nice smooth treble top end. Okay. Let's turn those off. Save it. And then on this one, it's just very bright, especially on the bridge pickup here. Ah, wow. Very, very bright. So let's turn off the effects and let's see where the culprit is as far as the brightness. I need to tune again here. Let's check the tuner. Everyone says they hate the tuner, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the tuner. Now, the tuning pegs on this guitar, which I do love the guitar, but I feel like the tuning pegs need a higher ratio. It could be better. I might change that in the future. I might not. So. Now, I will say this. Sometimes it's good to have bright tones. So let's do this real fast. Let's pull up a session of a Harrison mix bus here. I'm gonna record some stuff. I think that would be a good demonstration of stacking different tones. Okay, we're just gonna make a new session here, and we'll keep it untitled for now. Okay, let's make this a little smaller. Let's stick this over here and readjust the size of this. All right, very cool. So what we're going to do, let's make a track. Let's make 2 guitar tracks. GTR 2. I'll make these stereo for now. All right, so guitar track 1. This is going to be in we are in 11 and 12. Let's make sure guitar 2 is on the same one. 11 and 12. All right, so let's go to our first little thing here. And our metronome is going to be on. All right, here we go. Let's see. Let's go to our tempo and let's make it like a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so let's make it like 90 beats per minute. And I'll put it on measure 3. And let's record something. Okay, very interesting. And now let's go to save that. Let's go to our second one. Let's turn off all the effects. I just want to hear the amp itself. Okay, let's hear how that stacks with the other part. All right, so here we go. 1 and 2 and ready. All right. Now we're going to pan these hard left and right. And let's hear how this sounds. Okay, so maybe you like that sound. Maybe the second sound is just too bright overall. It just needs to be more tame. Okay, so let's go into the cab first. I do like the 414. Turn the breakup down. Let's turn the mic axis on. And we're looking at the amp settings here. So the presence is fairly high. The treble is high. Barely any mids, barely any bass. So, you know, even though this particular rig doesn't meet my needs, I can still change it to meet my needs, right? So Just bring the bass back up. Let's bring the mids up. Bring the treble down. Definitely bring the presence down a good bit. And let's listen to it now. Okay, we're a lot better. Okay, that's a good overall tone. So let's add a new playlist for this track. We'll record another pass. So we have the first take, which is more smooth, and the second take is going to be a little bit not as bright as the other. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, let's listen to that. It should be panned hard left and right. Okay, great. Let's enable metronome only while recording. Let's do that. So if we're playing back, we don't hear the metronome. All right, cool. So that's a good demonstration of taking what you have and just determining if it's too bright or too muddy or just something. Just go change what you need. Okay. Everyone likes to dog on the stock presets, but you gotta learn how to adjust them. You know, they don't know what you like. Only you know what you like. So go find some presets that either fall into the ballpark or just learn to adjust them how you want. So here's a little bit of compression. Let's check the settings here. We got not too bad. Ratio's a little high. Threshold could be lowered maybe. Now I have been teaching you guys that you can lower the threshold all the way, and then you can adjust the ratio. To kind of find the sweet spot for your compression. Let's see what the graphic EQ is doing. It's cutting a lot of stuff. So it's on a thin preset, and it's just cutting a lot of lows, mids, boosting the highs, and also the gain. So that's probably where a lot of that high end was coming from as well. Okay, maybe you like it, maybe you don't. So sometimes you need drastic parameter changes to just kind of stick out in the mix and make something different. Because nothing's ever going to be different if you keep everything the same. Because our ears tend to like certain sounds, and if you just like smooth and clean or whatever all the time, then there's no distinction between different guitar tones. So it's good to go through these stock presets and kind of find what works for you, what don't. You can kind of save some of these in a different set list that you want to keep for yourself, kind of thing. Here's a chorus. It's kind of flangey sounding. Okay, let's bring in another guitar track here, and let's make sure this is set correctly. 9 and 10. Did I just make that mono? No, 11 and 12. There we go. All right, so let's record another part, but with this chorus on. Okay. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go. All right, that was pretty much horrible. Let's check it out. One more time. Okay. It's a horrible part, but just kind of listening to the chorus there, and then here's some reverb. So this is just a good, that's a medium room reverb. All right, so still a good clean sound. I like it. I'm not gonna save it. I'll just go on to the next one. So PY Clean. So Pretty Young Thing, maybe by Michael Jackson. Okay, let's go to hardware sign. I'm going to take off the, there we go. I took off the modified parameters there on the side, so I can just get right to the sound of the rig. So this one has the chorus at the front. Then we have a dyne comp for compression. Then we got two different amps with respective cabs in the split view here. So we got dual mono, which is a Fender Twin reverb, and then a super reverb. Okay. All right, let's turn off the first dyne comp. I think that's great. That's a great clean tone. I would use that for all kinds of stuff. All right, I'm actually going to save that as a new rig and call it Nate Clean. Yep, I'm just going to snatch that up. And let's go to what's HR Clean? Okay, I see. Let's make a new set list here. We'll go to Nate. So anything that I name Nate is going to come up. Hit save. And I'm going to say Nate set list. Okay. So now I can always get back to that. Or there's a doc list, which is cool. But I'll just put Nate set list. So any rigs I find that I like, I'm just going to throw them all in there so that way I can get back to them easier. Cool. Great. Let's look at the cabs. We got a silver cone with the 414. I love the 414. It just has a very full sound to me. And then the B30, which is the vintage 30 cab. Maybe a Bogner with vintage 30s. I'm not sure. A Dyne 7, which is your SM7B type mic. That's on axis. So both of those sound great. And I'm not gonna worry about changing those. Sorry, let's go back to clean tones here. Let's go here. I'll be watching 1. Wow. This one sounds really good too. So I'm not usually a fan of the gray comp, but let's see what settings they have. So they have fairly low sustain and the level is up pretty good. So let's turn that off and see how the sound changes. Alright, so that gray comp is really squashing the signal. And if you don't want your level to go down at all, then you want to make sure your level, the level on the gray comp is up, so that we have relatively the same volume. Okay. I see we got some more viewers coming in, so I'm going through the clean sounds on the Headrush Pedalboard. These are all stock that comes with your board, and we are finding out what we deem worthy to be used maybe for live work or for studio stuff. So some people say the stock rigs are crap. I beg to differ. You can find some good stuff in here. So we're going to go through and see what works and kind of keep some stuff for our own, okay? So now, another cool thing that you can do, if you find something that you like, click on the effects block, and we can see that the gray comp is at the 26 and 53. Okay, let's save this. We're going to call it Doc Gray. Wow, I can't even type. All right, dot gray comp. So now that is set. That setting is stored, and even if I delete it and then bring it back in, gray comp, I can click on that preset, and then bam, I'm right back to it. So this is a very quick way to find settings you like, and then save those as presets. And then when you start making your own rigs, you have some things to pull from and not have to totally start from scratch because you've already made presets that you know you like. So that's a great option there for that. So let's turn off. Let's see what the graphic EQ is doing. Once again, we're on the thin preset. So this is it without the graphic EQ. So I think it sounds nice in this context. And then turn it off. So that's very, very muddy. So why would it be muddy? Let's go take a look. So we've got 4x10. Sometimes the 4x10 sound a little weird to me. We got black looks normal. Volume is a little high. The treble is down pretty low. The bass is fairly low. So what would happen if we brought the treble back up a little bit? Okay, it's just a very bass heavy sound. So okay, so the treble didn't help in that situation. So what I'll do, this is a good example of a lot of little things add up to one big thing. So the amp didn't do it by itself. Maybe it's a cab thing or a microphone choice. But you have to have that graphic EQ in there. Otherwise, it's just going to be too bass heavy. All right, people watching, tell me your name, where you're from, and if you have a pedal board, a gig board, or a MX5. So just kind of let me know your thoughts. Let me know what the stream sounds like, if I look okay, and all that. I know I'm using my Canon M50 through a remote live view of the utility app, so I think there's a little lag between my voice and maybe what you're seeing because of that web utility app. I'm not even sure. I'm still experimenting with that, but just let me know. Wow. That's actually really good. All right, let's save new rig. 'Cause I can reuse that. Nate CL2. And then what I'll do is I'll go to my Nate set list. Actually, I needed to go to the ... pencil, magnifying glass, Nate CL2. And then save that. Okay, there we go. So go back to clean tones here. What I can do is as I go through, I can take out the ones that I've added. Like that. Okay. All right, so I like that. I'll be watching this one I just got done. So let's go bank down. Let's go to brick clean. What's up, John? From Seattle, just got the MX5, my first Headrush product. So far, so good. Yeah, very cool. Well, this may help you go through. I'm walking through the clean tones that come stock on the MX5 and also the gig board and the pedal board. So even though I'm using the pedal board in this video, I will definitely be using gig boards and MX5 in later videos in the series. So be sure to subscribe down below and click the bell so you'll be notified when I go live or just release a new video. So this tone right here is a little muddy for me. Let's turn off the phaser. Let's turn off all this stuff. Let's just listen to the amp and the cab, which our amp is a green channel on the Bogner, and then the speaker is a 20-watt greenback. Let's listen to how this sounds first. Okay, and let's make the mic on axis. that's a decent sound. Let's see what happens if we turn the graphic EQ on. All right, that's the culprit to me right there. It just sounds too weird. So the high mids are rolled off a lot. And the highs. Let's bring that back in. If anything, we can take the lows down just a little bit. So the low mids is 370 on the graphic EQ there. So taking that out definitely helps reduce some of the pain of those the muddiness in a signal. It's also how you can take humbuckers and thin them out a little bit, make them sound more stratty, maybe more Telecaster kind of sound. Especially when you start boosting the high end here. Okay, so maybe something like that. Let's kick in the first compressor. Okay, second compressor, which is after the amp and cab. Okay, a little bit of reverb. All right, phaser. All right, that can work for me. I'm gonna save that one outright. 'Cause I like how I changed that. Let's go to the next one. This is Hipster Jazz. We got a little compression, and we have the Black Lux normal amp. This is a silver cone 2x12 with a Dyne 7 off axis, a small music club reverb, and then a volume pedal at the end. So, all right, so let's put on the neck pickup, and let's all right, it's not too bad. Like I said, not everything needs to be bright, cleanish. You know, if you're going for a jazz thing, you want it to be a little dark. So this is fine. I wouldn't expect a metal guy or like a rock guy to, use this preset or this rig and be like, oh, yes, my perfect clean sound. It's like, yeah, it's definitely warm and smooth sounding for jazz. It's not your typical country sound or like a chorusy kind of metal clean, right? It's just not that kind of sound they would go for. So I think it's good overall. Let's move on to the next one. Mother. Mother, mother. So. Oh, shoot. I like everything about that except for the reverb. Let's see if we can just bring it down a little bit here. Oh, shoot. Forgot what key I was in. That's pretty good. Let's turn off the reverb and the compression, see what that does. Alright, cool. Turn that back on. Vibrato. And once again, the vibrato is actually on the amp itself. So if you scroll down, you can see the speed there, the intensity. And then how you assign that to a switch is you go to hardware assign, you choose the amp, and then vibrato. Okay. Now the amp bright is also on, so you can see that turn on and off there, which is really cool. So here it is off. Here it is on. Okay, I like it off. That sounds good. We'll save that. Jazz up. So more jazz stuff. Alright, let's turn on the gray comp. Let's turn off the verb. This is very, a little muddy sounding for me. Alright, let's see what we can do about that. Turn the bright on. That actually might have done it. This amp is the black super reverb. Trebles down, the mids are up. So maybe reverse this. Treble up, mids back down, bass up. Okay. Alright, there's some delay in here. See what that does. I'm not sure what song that's supposed to be based off of, but there's enough in there you can tweak it to your liking. I think it sounds pretty good overall. We'll save that. Let's go. Missing thrill. So the thrill is gone. This has a spring reverb before the amp. Now, once you start driving amps a little harder and you put wet effects before them, everything's going to sound just more crunchy, more just muddy. So, for example, if I go here and real fast look up Thrill Is Gone, B.B. King, backing track. This is going to be in B minor. Let's see what happens here. So yeah, I think that sounds pretty convincing. Now, does the reverb have to be before the amp? I mean, not necessarily. Does it have to be before the amp? Let's see what happens if we put it after the amp. If there's any significant difference here. Back before. Now, usually I wouldn't have, parts that wet. Let's record onto this track here. Let's see how this part would sound over the other stuff. 1 and 2 and ready and go. Okay. Great. Let's see what sounds without the verb. And verb back on, but maybe the mix is down a little bit. I think it's good. I think it's really good. I'm not going to mess with that at all. Just switch to the next rig. We'll discard any changes. Swamp Born. The vibrato's on this. So let's see. Okay, so once again, we have another rig. Pretty much the same rig. Except this one has the vibrato on and the other one didn't. So, similar to a Fender and reverb on board. With the amp and cab, similar. Between the amp and cab, similar to a Fender with reverb on board. Yeah, we can try that. So let's bring that down like this. Back before. Let's put it after. All right. Yeah, there's some nuance there. I prefer the mix down a little bit. Fun. So that works, right? I mean, all your rigs don't have to be like super complicated. They can just have an amp cab and maybe a reverb or maybe a delay or maybe a overdrive or whatever. We'll keep that one the same. Tonight one. No idea what this one could be. But once again, we got a black mini. We got a silver cone. And we have a spring reverb before the amplifier. So really between these three rigs. So this one has that cab. This one has same cab, but with the vibrato on. This one has a different cab. And I mean, the head is different too. But the point is, they're using like a Fender style amp with the spring reverb before the amp. And the louder you crank the amp, the more the reverb is going to sound distorted. So okay, bring the amp back down. So depending on how loud you have the amp, the reverb is going to take on a totally different character. Okay, that one sounds pretty cool. And then that's it. That's all the clean sounds that we have. I feel like I have a splinter in my thumb. Not sure how I did that, but anyway. Alright, be sure to subscribe down below and click the bell. I'll be going through the other rigs this week. Just doing like a live stream. Probably 2 or 3 more times. Going over all the dirty tones, the lead tones. Let's just review real fast how much we have. So there's ampy tones. Okay. There's bass tones, which I'll grab a bass in a separate stream and do that. And then the clean tones I did tonight, the crunchy tones. There's 43 crunchy tones. It's a lot of tones. Generation, my generation. Dirty tones. There's 66. We're gonna get dirty on that one, folks. Crossroads. Like for instance, if we do like a now, does it sound just like Crossroads? I have no idea. But that's the kind of stuff we got to work with here. Heavy tones. Like a fox. Like a fox. In this case, I'm not a big fan of the reverb before the amp. But it makes it less interesting, maybe. So, I don't know. It is what it is on that one. HR Rock. Okay. Solo lead tones. All right, so we got a lot of work to do here, folks. On going through all these rigs. So, like I said, be sure to subscribe and click the bell below. And if you want to purchase anything through my affiliate links through Sweetwater, mainly the Headrush type stuff, you can do that. That'd be great to help support the channel. And also, there's some Amazon links down there if you shop through Amazon. And if you want to buy a Sonic DNA IR pack, that is my Dock IR pack. There's a link in the description, and also multiple courses on my website. So thanks guys for watching. I'm Dr. McFarland. I'll see you in the next live stream. Keep rocking.